Hello, and welcome to this week's Upper Deck. I'm Lynn. Next to me is Sierra, and it's getting dark outside, so it's a little bit strange to be doing the Upper Deck. I hope that some of you got the message and are listening now, or will be joining the chat soon. And hey, speaking of joining the chat soon, Numbers Guy, good to see you. Thank you for being here and adjusting to the time change. So we didn't get what we thought we would get. We didn't get the sweep. We swept the Nationals, so good for us. But that really would have just been so much extra as we head into Houston. But before we get all into that, let's do Spencer's trivia question of the week. And I think this is a fairly easy one, but again, it's probably more so for people of a certain age, Karen and me. Well, I already know the answer, but anyway. Which New York Yankee was famously quoted as remarking confidently, "When I am at the plate, I am in scoring position"? Now, sounds like something Jazz Chisholm would have said. But so just think about it, put your answers in the chat, and we'll get back to it with the answer at the end of the show. Let's just do, it's so good that I'm seeing some friendly faces, names in the chat. So let's just say, hey, Numbers Guy saying hello again. Welcome back, Karen. Oh, Karen, I just shared my birthday story with Ciara.
I'm so disappointed.
Oh boy, we're gonna start our own campaign. Jordan, great to see you. Jonathan, yes. It is a morning show. There's nothing wrong with your clock. We're trying we're adjusting for the month of September. Sierra, do you want to explain a little bit about that?
Yeah, sorry. I have a little broke bestie who is an all-star cheer, and my life is run by cheer now. So we are just working around her schedule the best that we can, and it seems like it'll be an every other Sunday thing, at least through September. Apologies.
Yeah, and we just figured rather than confusing anymore, we'll just do 6 o'clock every Sunday for September. Get you into that little routine. And but and by the way, broke bestie is her daughter. I had to ask that question. I'm like, what is a broke bestie and why are they broken? So yeah, that's why we're doing it at nighttime. And and so Jonathan's saying, I'm on vacation, so it's not just me. Okay, nope, not just you at all. It's not you, it's us. Okay. So let's get right to the rear view mirror. Sierra, you want to start?
Listen, first of all, it is very weird being here at night. I have my first of 3 fantasy football drafts, like literally right after we get off the air. But so I'm not upset that the Yankees didn't sweep the White Sox. They swept the Nationals. They took the first 3 from the White Sox. It's hard to sweep any team, good or bad, but a 4-game sweep is it's even harder. The Yankees scored about 20 runs in the first 2 games against the White Sox. So it was only natural that they barely scored yesterday and today, right? They had me stressed out yesterday because I was there in person, and it was a pitcher's duel. Went to extra innings, and I was like, oh my God, I'm going to crash out if the Yankees do not win. On top of all that, Stanton wasn't in the starting lineup. And I'm like, seriously, this is the day he doesn't play? Like, what are we doing to me? But it was a good week for the New York Yankees. And I know we have people out there saying, oh, well, it's the teams you're supposed to be. I don't care at this point because we had the worst June and July I've ever seen in my life. A win is a win to me. I'll take whatever we can get. Yankees are only 3 games back now in the AL East. Boston's right on our tail, so that's really what's going to matter is when we play Houston, Boston, Detroit, those really good teams. But yeah, good week overall. Everyone contributed offensively. So let's see if that can carry into Houston because that'll be the real I don't know. It'll be the real something. And if the guys who have been struggling can show up for us in Houston.
Yeah, and yes, so the bats are waking up for some that have been really silent, and not really much in terms of those fielding issues we've been seeing. wasn't so present in the past week. Volpe didn't Volpe as much. And
I
so
don't know. I think Volpe got away with an error yesterday. They scored a base hit, but from where I was sitting, it looked like an error.
yeah, so
And
tell us more about what the atmosphere was there. Do
well,
they
first of
hate
all,
us?
no, because it's crazy. So I've been going every year for the past 10 years since I've lived here. And this might be Chicago, but this is a Yankees town. Chicago White Sox fans don't go to games. As soon as the Yankees come to town, the White Sox fans show up, but it's like 60% Yankee fans in that stadium. My entire section was Yankee fans. So like that's just how it is. And it's so much fun because it's like when you go to an away game, because I've been to Busch Stadium, I've been to Detroit, I've been to Milwaukee. There's a few fans that you see in your section, but when like your whole section is pinstripes, it just feels good. So, but from where
Yeah.
I was sitting, Volpe still looked bad in the field.
Okay. Well, I could see that. I was trying to have some sort of good something to say about Volpe. I was stretching, but at least it wasn't anything outwardly embarrassing
Mm-hmm.
like it has been so much of late from any of them. So, and of course, you mentioned it before we jumped on. I loved Mike Tauchman as a Yankee. I was telling Sierra, I even made a meme for him when he was with us with the Batman wings and his name Tuckman, Tuckman, da, 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 da. And I would tweet that out every time he had a home run. And he just is not loyal. How dare he steal that ball from the over the wall?
That hurt me today.
That hurt. We really he lost the game for us. It wasn't us. It was him.
Freaking Mike Tauchman.
I'm blaming Mike Talkman. Yeah. So, and the Nationals, that was a nice skate. That was nice, uneventful, non nail biting baseball. I thought Rodon looked really good in the National Series, and I think even was it Friday night he pitched for the series. I think he held it together. And did very well for himself. So Rodon is steady Eddie right now. And of course Fried is back, and as Sean is saying, hello Sean, Judge is back. So, and we'll talk a lot more about that as we go on. So let's get to Judge actually, and the rest. So we're still in second place, so there is that. Yesterday it looked much better to see 4 games, in the wild card instead of 3. But when was the last time we saw second place? I don't even remember at this point. Do you?
Forever ago.
Forever ago. And until as of last night, the Yankees had 7 straight wins and 9 straight wins on the road, and that stat was the first time since 1998. So I'll take some 1998 vibes here in 2025. So they're really, I really feel like, and I wasn't really all that serious with what I called the show, but for the first time, I did feel this little hope that, okay, things are happening. We're on top of the Red Sox. We're, and we're not in the basement anymore. So hopefully this was just one we had to pay back to the universe for some reason so that we could get more from Houston when we get there. Which, by the way, do you know that the Yankees, this is so corny, do you know that they're wearing Western gear on their flight to Houston?
I saw that tweet from Hulk, and I was like, what the heck? Why are they doing that? Is this like some reverse psychology to like try to get in Houston's head? I don't understand.
I don't know, because is Houston are the Astros greeting them at the airport?
They're going to a good old barbecue together.
Maybe, but I think I don't. I guess it was Rocco and Rocco. Like I want to Rocco whatever you say his,
TV
whatever
remote.
you say his name, the one that talks like this, Ryan Ruocco. He said that Dominguez came to the stadium dressed like Trent Grisham. Essentially, he's like he had like starched pressed jeans and the button down shirt. Like that's, I guess that's how Grisham dresses on the regular, being from Texas. So
Grisham looks like an undercover cop. Like that's all I can see.
and so Dominguez is like, well, it was pretty smart of him. He's like, well, I'll just dress like him and I should be good. So, and hey, John the Beagle Dad, good to see you. Yeah, it was disappointing, John, but you know what? I guess we can't be too greedy. 3 out of 4 ain't bad. And being in second place is feeling pretty good after feeling like, in the dumpster for so long. And yep, so numbers guy agrees with me. The shame of it is Ruko is very knowledgeable. He does a good, he calls the game really well. It's just that game show voice of his. Every play is like a brand new car, and he's talking about the car somebody won on a game show. It's just the voice that gets to me. Might just be me. What about the whole Yankees paying off the umpires during the Nationals game? I don't know what that means, Karen. That sounds like a scandal. I'll call you later.
I will say during that first Nationals game when Schlittler pitched, you would never know if you looked at the box score that he threw 6 shutout innings, because it ended up being like a 10-5 game, because the Yankees kind of just in that last inning just imploded, because that's what they do. But thankfully they had 10 runs on the board. I don't know. Schlittler is just nasty. So shout out to him for that. But you would never know that he pitched that well if you looked at the box score.
Yeah, and if you're Schlittler, I don't know how he didn't tear the dugout apart when that happened. There was no O'Neill or Gardy shenanigans in the dugout from Schlittler. So good on him for keeping his cool too. The thing with him, and we have so much to say about Schlittler. I think it's basically going to be the Schlittler show in some ways. To be this young, and to be this together, to be in these high leverage situations and have it not show. I'm sure it's affecting him in his head, but he is just always in command, no pun intended, right? Like he's always spot on and locating. And I'm not saying he always has the best pitches, but there could be zero doubt in my head, at least, that he really needs to be in the rotation. And an interesting discussion for us to have at some point will be, if it gets to the point where you have to choose between Warren and Schlittler, what would
there's no conversation there in my opinion.
That's what I'm saying. Okay, conversation over.
No, so I'm gonna read you some numbers, and you can tell me, because Will Warren is so inconsistent. It's ridiculous. Cam Schlittler, first 9 MLB appearances, or starts, I should say, 48.1 innings pitched, 2.61 ERA, 1.24 WHIP. He only has walked 10.1% of the batters he's faced, but he has struck out 27.1%. Not only should he be in the rotation over Will Warren, he should be a top 50 pitcher in 2026. He throws like Garrett Cole. He looks like Garrett Cole. There's a clear clip of him from last night calling someone an effing bitch. So he is just like Garrett Cole in every sense. Like, they reincarnated our ace and gave us a mini version of him. It's insane.
Yeah. I love to see it. And I don't need another Clay Holmes in my life. So,
we have him already.
Really, I barely survived that. But so put him in the pen, because you have Yarbrough coming back at any moment. And it could have been today. It clearly wasn't. But with the roster expansion tomorrow, he'll be back. And there was some tell that he'll be maybe starting in the pen. I don't see that being for very long. And let's do a little switcheroo. I think the Warren experiment is dwindling down. So I found some good tweets. I just wanted to share a couple of them. So so shout out to, I can't even read my own slide. Shout out to this guy.
Cole is king.
Cole is king from Twitter. Yankees are 2-0. Blue Jays are 0-2. Red Sox are 0-2. Since Jazz said this. And right here, we're going to go out there and win the division, and then we're going to go and win the World Series. So clearly, this was from yesterday, but it was kind of cool. Like 2-0, 0-2, 0-2. So like, let's call Jazz Nostradamus for that one. I really liked, and I liked that. That's like a Yankee thing to say and be. So there's some things we'll be saying about Jazz plus minus etc., but nobody could say that he's not like really just out there to succeed and wants the team to succeed. So I had to shout that one out. So I had put today's lineup up because I wasn't happy when I saw the lineup earlier. And Goldschmidt, I just don't understand. I know left, right. I hear it all the time, but I just don't understand the lead off there. And I think he went 0-4, right? I think he did not produce at all.
I don't understand why Grisham and look, I'll be the first one to go back and say when Grisham first started leading off, I was like, what the hell? What are we doing?
Right.
But he has more than earned his spot in that role.
Yep.
Why he should just be the leadoff every day. I hate the planned days off. I literally, it drives me insane because it proves the point that the Yankees don't believe in getting hot or getting cold or whatever. The planned days off kill me because Grisham should be the leadoff hitter no matter what. If he gets cold, then sit his ass on the bench. But right now, like, we are trying to win and get into the playoffs. There's no reason to mess with the lineup. Leave it how it is. And I can say the same thing for like the whole Stanton and Judge situation. Leave Stanton in the lineup.
Yeah. Frankly, and I know we kind of went into this last week. I'm going to double down on it this week. He's not going to be your MVP right fielder. It's not what he's there for. But he is doing just fine out there. And we're getting more and more evidence to show that. So I agree. Let's just shut up with the Stanton stuff. He's not going anywhere, and they're going to utilize him. And maybe it's keeping him healthier. Everyone's afraid that it will, automatically mean an injury. So far, and knocking on anything I could find right now, all signs point to otherwise. And Luis Heel looked really good until Tim Hill came in and wrecked the ship. So so speaking about our guy Cam, he has a 2.61 ERA, which is the 8th best among all American League starting pitchers with at least 40 innings pitched this year. A kid just brought up. And so this is what we have to look forward to there.
A kid who hits 100 miles per hour and makes it look easy.
Yep. And doesn't get upset and doesn't throw tantrums. And I like him and Rice together. I think they're a good pair. I hope it stays that way. And then here we got from, so this is a little bit of a question. So just Bart from Twitter, is it fair to say Schlittler's ceiling is Cole level and the floor is a number 3? And Will Warren's ceiling is like Clark Schmidt's level and the floor is becoming a reliever. What do you say?
So the only thing I don't like about this tweet, because it's in reference to Cam's last 18 innings or last 3 starts. So he has a 0.48 ERA and 24 Ks, including the 8 strikeouts he had last night. So not only did he kill the White Sox, but he killed me in fantasy baseball. So thank you so much for that, Cam Schlittler. The only thing I don't like about this tweet is that you're kind of discrediting Clark Schmidt, and I feel like Clark Schmidt gets a lot of flack because he's injury prone. Will Warren should be so lucky to be compared to Clark Schmidt. That's how I feel about it. Because when Clark is healthy, he is a damn good pitcher. Whether he's coming out of the bullpen or a starter, I don't know. Do I think Schlittler can be Cole level? 100%. I think Schlittler could be better than Cole, if I'm being completely honest with you, because he is more level-headed than Garrett Cole. And that's no diss. Like, I love Cole, but Schlittler is more level-headed. So I think due to that, he can be better than Cole. And I agree that maybe his floor is a 3, 4 at the most. But if he continues how he is now, he'll never be out of a job.
Right. And so I hope we hold on to him. I don't want him to be a trading piece at any point. I want him to be homegrown and ours, because you're right, Sierra. I'm not going to do like the whole he's so-and-so 2.0, but he is an ace in the making. And that's like solid gold. So really just excited about that kid. Okay. And so Jordan, you were just mentioning Devin Williams. So here's a poll from Christian. So shout out to Christian from Twitter. The Yankees won't learn their lesson about pitching Devin Williams in high leverage situations until he gives up the go-ahead run in the game that gets them sent home. And so look at the stats there. Should Devin Williams be pitching in the high leverage situations for the rest of the season? Nope.
I don't want to see Devin Williams in high leverage, medium leverage, low leverage. I don't want to see him at all. Wherever they sent JT Brubaker and Ian Hamilton, send Devin Williams there too. Fake an injury, get him out of the bullpen. I'm over it. You can almost see it on his face at this point. Like, he is so defeated. I don't know if he can come back from that. And it's not that I'm rooting against him. Devin Williams was a 2-time reliever of the year award recipient, but he doesn't have it in 2025. I don't know if that's because New York is tougher to pitch in. I don't know if he's just having an off year, because that's what happens to relief pitchers, unfortunately. They can have 2 really good years and then have a really bad year. It's just how the cookie crumbles. But for how bad he's pitching right now, I don't want to see him touch the mound. Everything is at stake right now for the New York Yankees. And I'm going to keep saying it until I'm blue in the face. They went to the freaking World Series last year. It was, as Aaron Boone likes to say, it was right in front of them. And they beat themselves. So now they're doing everything they can to let bad bullpen decisions and bad defense stop them from getting back there. And that's unacceptable, in my opinion. Like, it's ridiculous. Devin Williams, just go away. We'll see what happens in 2026. But it sucks that, like, for him, it sucks. This is a contract year for him. So you're not getting the contract you're looking for. You're going to have to, unfortunately, go get a 1-year deal somewhere and prove yourself again, because you have not done anything to earn a deal this season.
And if the Yankees dare to re-sign him,
they can't, because Luke Weaver is up for a contract as well.
Okay.
There's so many free agents this season.
Okay.
The Yankees got to figure it out. They also have like 7 closers now. Not really, but you have Duvall, you have Bednar, you have Williams, you have Weaver. So now you have to make some decisions. And Williams is just at the bottom of the trust list at this point. Like, if you put them like in a circle of like who you trust most to least, Williams wouldn't even be in the circle. He would be standing on the outside of the circle.
Yeah, most definitely. And if you're going to put him in the way you've been putting him in. As soon as the starting pitching starts to wane, then put him in and give it an inning and check again, because even then he has done damage, as we saw. So Devin Williams, I hope you fix it in the off season. I hope we find something else for you to do in the postseason, because we will get there. I'm more confident now than I was a week ago. We'll get there.
They better do to him what they did to Marcus Stroman. If he keeps pitching like this, I don't want him on. He better not be on the postseason roster. Like, that's how I feel about it at this point. If you can keep Marcus Stroman, who is a veteran in this league, off of the roster and DFA him the following season, you can keep Devin Williams off the roster, because he has not earned a spot.
I don't think you'll have anyone anywhere disagreeing with you on that. And hey, they set the precedent with that last year by doing that to both God, why is the name out of my head? Nestor and him both, and Stroman both. So, yeah, There could be no question
I
about
will
that.
never forgive Mr. Cortez for
Well,
I shall never forgive Aaron Boone for that grand slam to Freddie Freeman. Like
right.
it is just ingrained in my mind for the rest of my life.
Yeah, yeah, which is on Boone, not on Nestor. I really can't hate Nestor for it. I mean, I guess I could, but so much easier to hate Boone in general. All right, so let's go to the hotties, the naughties, and the mess. All right, who are your hotties, Sierra?
Giancarlo Stanton, obviously. My guy is just holding his own at this point. Like easily one of the top 10 players in AL from June to now. Whoever said that he was cooked, whoever said that his busted elbows were going to stop him from being who he is this season and to DFA him and that you did to just move away, that he's clogging up the lineup, I never want to hear it again. Okay. He is so consistent at this point. And the fact that he's gone on the record and said he has changed his mindset. And I'm sure that this and the way that he's kind of changed his body composition over the last 2 years together has really done it for him. I want to see him play every day. I don't want to see him sitting because I am a firm believer that when a player is hot and you rest them, you throw off their groove. I don't want to see that happen to Stanton. And yeah, when we make it to the playoffs, Stanton will be the MVP once again because that is Stantober.
I will not, Jordan, because the only reason I'm not going to mention him is because I knew she was gonna. No, we're both on the Stanton train, so you're not going to get any cooperation from me on that. So go ahead. Yeah, yes to everything you just said. I think it's benefiting him, like I said at the top of the show, to be on both sides. I think he's actually enjoying it. And I have no complaints whatsoever as long as he stays healthy, and those reps are helping him, I think. So yeah, we're going to need him, clearly. So
yeah, and okay. I like this little bit of sass when they talk to him about playing the outfield. He's like, look, it's not like I haven't done it before. I don't know why we're acting like I can't play the outfield is basically what he was saying. And
right.
I like it. He's telling you people that he is not made of glass to just let it happen.
Yeah, and so he's not both sides as a right fielder, right? I mean, his legs are not what they used to be. So, but his throwing arm sure the hell is. And so I'll take that. Because that's better than nothing. And absent of Judge, he just fits right in there. And right field is tough. So yeah, I'm not going to say more about Stanton. I'll just keep waxing and fluttering my eyes thinking about him. All right, who else you got?
Former first-round draft pick Trent Grisham. Can you believe that last season Trent Grisham was on the bench and we had to watch Alex friggin' dog poop? Like, not like he doesn't even have a job this year. That's how bad he is. And Grisham sat on the bench and he has a career high 28 home runs. That's insane to me. He has a 3.2 WAR right now. Trent Grisham, listen, buddy, I'm sorry if I ever said that you shouldn't be the leadoff hitter. You've earned it. Okay. T stands for Trent Grisham. T stands for Trent Grisham should always be in the lineup. And he's a Gold Glove defender. Like he makes it look so effortless in the outfield.
Yep. Look for him to get another one this season, as far as I'm concerned. And hey, Jacob. Yep. Hey, bestie. That's for you, Sierra. And Donnie Clark, haven't seen you in a minute. Good to see you. And Swaggy T for sure. I really feel like Trent Grisham, when we get to the World Series, it's going to be a little bit of a competition, perhaps, between Stanton and Grisham. If things going the way they are, because he has been an absolute revelation. And if we don't hang on to him, let's remember how young he is. I know the mustache makes you think he's 83 years old, but he's like 29 or something.
He's 28, yeah, but he looks 37.
I know. Looks like, okay, old folks home soon. So yeah, it's just we need to keep him for the rest of his career, as far as I'm concerned. So
Jacob, you need to watch yourself. Nobody can replace Gleyber Torres, okay? Never gonna happen. I literally brought my Gleyber Torres sweatshirt to the game last night. So nobody is replacing Gleyber Torres. So watch yourself.
Jacob, you're just able to say that because you're behind a monitor miles away. Never in person would you dare say that. Oh, Donnie, would keep Belly over Grisham.
Why not keep both?
Why not both?
Grisham is literally being paid $5 million this year. That's it. Like, that's pennies. That's chump change.
Yeah. Don't make me have that conversation. It's getting close to my bedtime. I can't do that. I don't even want to think about that. Yep, and he was an all-star as well. Yeah. Oh, wait, you're talking about Gleyber. Yep. Okay. So
listen. I could have a whole conversation about the fact that we let Gleyber walk and Jazz Chisholm Jr. can't field the ball to save his life, but we'll save that for another day because I'm not trying to fight anybody today.
All right. Who's your next one? You had quite the hot list.
Caballero has quickly become one of my favorite guys, and diabolical work by the Yes Network. Every time Volpe makes a mistake, they pan over to Caballero. Diabolical. So I don't know who's running the cameras over there, but you got my vote for MVP because it's hilarious. Listen, the guy can run the bases. The Yankees need that. He can play multiple positions. He can hit the ball. Like, I know his very first game was bad, but so was everybody that we traded for that day. Like, it was just an implosion. Since then, he's been nothing but hot, and I want to see him in the lineup more. I'm sorry. And I'm going to contradict myself here in a few minutes because I'm going to give Volpe some props. Volpe is not the shortstop at this point. He's the worst player in Major League Baseball in 2025. Sit him on the bench. I'm done with the Volpe experiment. You've never used an option on him. You've never even this is the first time he's ever been benched. Like, the kid, he's in his own head. He's just playing horribly. I don't know how you fix him at this point. I'm going to give him props soon, but I also want him to remember that they just played the Chicago White Sox, who can't fight their way out of a paper bag. So let's keep that in mind.
And last night was the struggle bus, and we lost to them tonight. So what does that tell us? Exactly. And the other thing about Cabby is that he's a utility guy too. So, he has more value in that respect than Volpe anyway, even if Volpe was Volpe 2023 Volpe, which he certainly is not. And you're right, Donnie. Lombard Jr. is coming fast. I don't know that we'll see him until next year at the earliest, but yeah, that's fast. That'll be here in a red hot minute. And Jordan's with you. Let's start that option Volpe campaign. They're never gonna do it. I don't know what the Volpe family has, like whose pocket they're in or what. Never gonna do it. He's untouchable, and we're not allowed to know why. So I just do not in my bones feel like that's ever going to happen. And it should have happened a long time ago. If it hasn't happened already, is it really ever going to happen? Especially as we get into the postseason. Oh, the horror of him missing postseason games. So I just don't see that happening. Go ahead.
Last one, and then I have an honorable mention. Rice, baby. I love Ben Rice. Okay. And I love his roll call. Like, yes, Ben, eat it up. Listen, I don't care where they put him at this point, but I would rather him catch over Olsen Wells any day. That's a whole other conversation. If he is going to play first base next season, they need to get him working on it in the offseason. He's not bad, but he's not Goldschmidt, right? Like, you can see the difference, but he's a bat that you don't want to lose, and he's just been phenomenal. First half of the season, all the stat people kept saying he's unlucky, he's hitting it hard, whatever. They might have been onto something because, listen, I don't know what Ben Rice did during the All-Star break, but he has just been unstoppable. So Ben Rice is my last hot, and then I have one honorable mention.
Let me just add something quick about Rice, real quick, though. I agree with everything you just said, but he does have to work on his pop
Mm-hmm.
because his pop rate is too low for comfort. So
Pop part
whatever that
time.
means. What?
Is pop part time?
Yeah, yeah. I'd like to see that go up, and then I don't care. He should be the first catcher. But I'm also good with him at first. I don't mind the platooning, but we're not re-signing Goldie, so and it's not like we're going to get anyone of very high caliber. I don't see that happening either. So, but we also need him at the plate because Wells ain't it. So that's going to
It's
be interesting.
it's interesting because not Volpe, Jesus. Belly, if we re-sign him, he can play first base
True.
if the outfield is still clogged. Now, I don't want to lose Belly in the outfield. He is too valuable in my opinion, but that option is there. So I'm very interested to see what they do this offseason because
Yep.
there's a bottleneck at multiple positions right now.
Yep. Um, and yeah, his exit velocity is for real. That kid's bat.
He just
You know,
hit his longest home run of his career. I was like, longest career of his home run, longest home run of his career.
yeah. And again, let's remember how young he is. He's a kid too. If he's this hard contact at his age, he can like reach Stanton level as he matures more and more. So, Rice has got to stay. And who's your honorable mention?
Rosario and his bald ass because I don't know if the Yankees are playing him, but the way he just runs back and forth in front of the dugout and you just see his little bald head pop into the camera real quick, he cracks me up because he clearly loves being on this team and you always need a cheerleader. I wish he got some more playing time because again, there's some guys struggling that should be on the bench, but I digress. I just wanted to give him an honorable mention.
Yeah, and maybe he will. McMahon has to really step up a little bit
Oh
more,
God.
and he has been, incrementally doing the things, but not enough of them. So third base is still up, very much up for grabs. But I like Rosario as well. And but Donnie, who wasn't better than Greg Bird? That's really not much of a compliment. Okay, so for me, so here's my hottie list. Fernando Cruz, welcome the frig back. I miss this guy so much. And, both last night and tonight, he put them to bed in high leverage situations. Today, in those 3 pitches, did you see that? He really turned the ship. We still lost, but I'll take that grunting. I'll take those funny face twitches. I'm almost like, are you going into cardiac arrest? The camera was like zooming in on him, huffing and puffing, but he's so worked up. And then 5 seconds later in the dugout, he's like kicking back and laughing. I just love this man. He has drive. He is talented. He locates. He's in command, and he's just a real player. So he is a hottie, and he's my number one hottie. Aaron Judge is number two only because he always gets to be number two. But hey, who said it earlier? I think it was Jordan maybe. He's back. He's almost back. These 2 home runs we saw from him. The one yesterday was 111 miles per hour and 429 feet. That's pretty friggin' good for somebody still rehabbing. I don't know what the deal is with the throwing program when he has so much strength that he's showing at the plate. That's a little concerning to me. I don't know why they're holding back on that, but he's still hot. And as everyone knows by now, but I'm going to say it on the air, now tied with Yogi Berra as the 4th all-time home run hitter of the Yankees. And per Rocco, I have a thing about his name. I'm going to call him Ryan. Is that okay? We're not, Ryan, I know we're not on a first name basis, but it's just easier. Give me a break. So Ryan said that it just will take 4 more home runs for Judge to replace DiMaggio. So, which would firmly put him on the Mount Rushmore graphic that we keep seeing circulating on Twitter. I concur with everything Schlittler said. And Jazz, I really did put him in a hottie for me because he has been producing, and there have been less errors than we have been seeing when they were just like an epidemic from him. Should he have been a man? Maybe, perhaps, but you know what? He got me with that quote I shared earlier. Just for the grit and the determination, and he is trying to do better on the field. And he came through a couple of times, and I feel like he was also clutch light this past week. So he's there for me. And then, this one's misplaced. I think I meant to put this in hot. Yeah, the next one is really a knot. Go ahead. Well, who's your knots?
So, listen, I said Jazz wasn't clutch. I lied a little bit. He did show up yesterday when we needed him and the extra innings. So I'll halfway take it back. But that's the first time he showed up in a clutch situation, but all season, in my opinion. His fielding is also just questionable at times. Okay. So, well, he's having a 2020 season. He has over 20 home runs, over 20 stolen bases, and he's being productive. I just feel like his big moments always come when we're up 4, 5, 6, 7 runs. And I want to see more of those clutch moments. We're tied. We're down by 1. We're only up by 1. Like, I want to see more of that from Jazz. It can't always be Judge. It can't always be Belly. Rice and Grisham have stepped up lately, but it has to come from other people as well. That's why he's a not for me. It's a little silly, but it is what it is. I'm going to follow that up with Dominguez. He's been kind of disappointing. And I will say I don't like how the Yankees have managed him at all this season. Unfortunately, we're in a good situation where we have a really good outfield. But Dominguez he looked really good, but I don't know if it's the lack of playing time or the platoon. He just isn't doing it lately offensively. So I put him there. And then I followed that up. And my last one is McMahon because the Yankees ignored third base in the offseason. They left a hole there. And then it came down to McMahon or Key Brian Hayes. I'm sorry. Like, that's a joke. And while McMahon has had 1 or 2 really good hits for us, he hasn't done anything phenomenal, in my opinion. And he's making defensive mistakes just like the rest of the infield. So it's not like he was this Gold Glove savior who came and saved the infield. He's not doing it for me. I would rather take A-Rod out of retirement and throw his old ass at third base than do any of the other options at this point. I'm sorry.
So Dottie's saying McMahon was a huge pickup.
Yeah, because Hal Steinbrenner is a cheap ass. That's why he's a good pickup. Because Hal Steinbrenner doesn't want to spend money. He put a self-imposed tax on this team. Alex Bregman was available for crying out loud. There was no offer made.
And look what Bregman is doing and what he'll be doing to us very shortly. So, yeah, not a fan of that. Okay, so my first knot is Devin, get out of our house now, Williams. Out. Not in the house that Ruth built, not in the house that Jeter built, not in a car, not in a plane, not on a train. Get out. Period. On a lighter note, I do feel like just for today I'm giving Tim Hill a knot. He wasn't throwing his ground ball pitches that we needed. I don't know if I'm going to consider it temporary, and I feel kind of bad doing it. But the only other one I had is Volpe, and everyone's tired of that. It's just like basically we don't even have to say that anymore. But Tim Hill cost us this game. So yeah, Tim Hill for me for this week only.
Okay. I think that's fair. Hey, sometimes guys have bad games, bad weeks. It happens. It's when they do it consistently that it becomes an issue. Devin Williams.
All right, who's your meh?
So this is where I contradict myself a little bit. I gave Wells and Volpe both a me because they had good games in Chicago. But again, you're playing the Chicago White Sox. They are the second worst team in baseball. They were the worst team in baseball last year, and they set a record for MLB for losses in a season. Colorado's trying to one up them, which is insane. But they're really bad. Like they're so bad that the biggest thing that their fans are looking forward to is 2029 when the majority of their ownership is out of Jerry Reinsdorf's hands. So they don't even there's nothing else for them to cheer for. So I want to see it carry over into these more important games, in my opinion. Like, yes, every game's important, but like again, we're playing the White Sox. Like, come on.
Right.
So I'll give them a meh for that.
Right.
Max Fried. He had a really good outing, but this was after 8 consecutive bad outings. So is he going to pitch well this week, or is he going to revert back to how he was for the last 8 starts before this recent one? That's my concern. I'm really hoping we're getting first half of the season Max Fried back, and it wasn't a fluke when he just gave us his really good outing. And that's it. Those are my mans.
So you think that last week his blister was fine, and if there's going to be a blister resurgence that we're worried about, or that it was just...
I don't know. It's concerning that he had 8 bad starts in a row. It would be different if it was like broken up. Because like, look at Rodon. He's had bad starts, right? But it wasn't like, oh my God, you've been really bad for 3 months. Like it was one or two in a row, good 1 or 2 in a row. Like,
yeah,
more consistent. Fried was so good, and then all of a sudden he had 8 bad starts, and it was like nobody was blinking an eye about that. I'm still concerned.
right.
He's had 1 good start. So let's see what he does for the next start or the next 2 or 3 starts, and then I'll tell you my true feelings.
Okay, you'll hold it deep inside until then. I really didn't have a meh. I'm pretty much, one or the other this week. So no like kind of grace point for anybody from me. Mm-hmm. And Donnie, I say this all the time. Fans vote with their wallets. Sierra doesn't live close by, so she can't do this, but I will not set foot in that stadium. And I live like a half-hour drive in traffic from the stadium. I refuse. I'm not even buying anything from Fanatics at this point. They're not getting any revenue from me because that's the only thing that's going to hurt them. But it has to take a lot of us, and that's just not going to happen.
While I agree, I'm going to disagree. I'm going to go to as many games as I can. That's why I when they're in the Midwest, I will go to as many as I can. I've already planned out next season. They play the White Sox and the Cubs back to back. They're here for a whole week. So it's my team. Regardless of how bad they're doing and regardless of how bad the management and the front office is, I'm still going to show up and support. It's why we're sick in the head, because we put ourselves through this torture. I'm going to watch the press conferences and read the news articles and buy the merchandise and complain about them online, because that's what fans do. We put the fan and fanatic.
Look, I'm all for you putting money in the pocket of the White Sox and the Cubs, and nobody's gonna fault you for that. But I hear what you're saying. You're saying if you were like me and lived less than 10 miles from the stadium, you'd be there, and I understand. I get that, but nothing else is gonna make them change. And those press conferences, I rather have root canal. Aaron Boone is just too. Oh, and Jordan just put it in.
Come on, Jordan! It's right in front of you.
I even put it as the title of the show. The postseason's right in front of us, but this time it's not yabber dabber. It's actually a possibility. But I was kind of impressed because something happened to Boone. I don't know what, but he was like finishing sentences during this whole series. Did you notice that, Sierra?
Because the Yankees were not playing like the Yankees. They were winning.
Yeah, maybe that was it.
He was able to formulate a thought.
Yeah, he was even nice to Meredith. So, we'll see what happens in in Houston. As the games go, so will the yabba dabba do from him. All right, so let's move on to hero. Do you have a hero this week, Ciara?
Cam
It's okay if you
Schlitter.
don't.
Cam Schlitter is my hero because and under 1 ERA in his last 3 starts. He's just a kid. He's technically in his developmental phase. He throws 100 miles per hour, like it's straight gas, and like you could hear it hit the glove. Like it's hard. I am so excited to watch this kid continue to pitch. I have not been excited about a pitching prospect in a long time. Also, I really love like just being able to play around with his name. Maybe I'm such a child, but like he slid on the White Sox yesterday, and that's so much fun to say.
Yeah. I on the other hand, I'm always afraid I'm gonna call him Shitter. Cam Shitter. But yeah, that's a good one. And mine is Aaron Judge because he's coming back, and this is the first week that I really feel that he is, and I just hope they don't do the thing and stretch it out. I hope that they start platooning him while maybe while they're on the road, or maybe they'll wait till they get back home, but don't like make another 2 weeks go by. Let's get him let's get that throwing program amped up, and let's get him out in the field. So
I just still don't think we have the full story.
nope.
I don't.
I'm sure we don't, but that's bothersome too. So here's the injury report. Well, as we just said, still no date for Judge to fully return. Jonathan Loizaga, another person I never need to see again. Another player I don't even. I took all of the effort to learn how to spell his name correctly, and this is what I get. He's out for the season. Dr. Meister confirmed that it's a right flexor strain. So goodbye to Johnny Lowe. So Austin Slater is still out with that left hammy. He's starting rehab in Scranton. Actually, he just started on Friday. No timetable though. And my favorite left-hand pitcher, Yarbrough. They said he could have been back today. We didn't see him obviously, and they're thinking about starting him in the bullpen. So I'm not mad at that. Let him stretch out a bit, and get him ready and get him back in the rotation. We obviously need him in the rotation. So maybe in the pen for part of the Houston series, and maybe they'll bring him in if they have to. So that's the deal on Yarbrough. Hedrick still out. So he had the left forearm contusion. All of the x-rays and CAT scans were negative, but no update on him since last week. I don't know if that's good, bad, or not.
I never know what to think when it comes to our injuries, if I'm being honest.
Rodon deserves a shout out. I did at the beginning, Sean. I think that his past 2 outings were good. There were moments where old Rodon would have gotten in his head a little bit, but maybe it's because wifey was in the stands watching him and vibing with him, like don't do it. I think he came through really clean this week. Yeah, I have no complaints about him. He does deserve a shutout. He was consistent with the Nationals, and he was good with the White Sox as well. I don't know who's starting first in for Houston, who the probables are. I'm assuming it's going to be Fried next, and then Rodon again, but I don't have the any tell on that. Oh, actually, I do. So the prop. Go ahead, you can say it.
No, you wrote it down. I'm like, wait a minute. I swear I saw those notes in there.
On our normal show in the mornings, I blame that I didn't have my caffeine. What's my excuse at 6:00 at night?
Good time.
That's it. Yeah, I do want a good nighty night already. Yeah, it looks like Max Fried on Tuesday, Warren on Wednesday, and Rodon on Thursday in Houston. So those are the probables. I really wish, but it's too soon to have Rodon, I guess. I'd really wish to flip Rodon and Warren, but that's the story there. Okay, and so I think then that just leaves us with what's next. So
what now?
What now? What's going to happen now? So what's next? Well, we know. We've been talking about it. So we just got done with the Sox, Astros, and Blue Jays. So next time we meet, next Sunday, remember 6 p.m. Eastern, we'll be finishing up with the Blue Jays. So I hope that we're all in really good moods and having a little bit of a celebration, because that's what will be happening there. So let's finish up with the Spencer's Trivia Question of the Week. Which New York Yankee was famously quoted as remarking confidently, "When I am at the plate, I am in scoring position"? Any last guesses there? So I'm just going to tell you, it's a bit of an old timer. Oh, no worries. I gave you a late pass, Sean. You come whenever you want to come. We're always glad to have you. No guesses? So the answer is Oscar Gamble. Anyone there ever hear of Oscar Gamble?
Not Ohtani.
So Oscar Gamble was a two-time Chicago White Sox, and he was also had two different stints with the New York Yankees. So he's the one with that quote. So thank you, Spencer, for the trivia question of the week. And so, chat, thank you for showing up. I love seeing the new people here. So special shout out to Max Coverage TV. Shayna, you came in and I didn't get a chance to shout you out. Numbers Guy, it was great to have you back with us. Chef Nick Apostolakos, if you're still here, and I hope I didn't just really scramble your name bad. So great to have you here with us as well. And all you regulars, all the family, all the chat family, it wouldn't be the same without you ever. So as always, follow us on all the places, hit all the thumbs. Don't forget the guys, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, chat Rob and Donald. And as always, you have a reserved seat with Ciara and me right here on the upper deck. And as we fly to Houston, let's just say, go Yankees! Have a good night.